Hello, cat. I will be back in a minute. I'll tell you everything when I get back. Alright, stream! I am back. And now we can get going. I would like to start with, as per usual, hello my Have a Night Asses, my Viking brothers and sisters. Welcome back to this. What is this, you might ask? Well, pretty simple. Minecraft. It's just Minecraft. Hold on just a second. There's a bunch of items on the ground from when I went AFK for a moment. That shit, that. Okay. Yes, Skyblock. It's modded Skyblock. And yes, I know I still have the screen hidden, but I will undo that here in a second. Hello, my Hell Nice Asses, my Viking brothers and sisters. Or I need to get in the habit of the other one. Hello, my Templar Knights and Asses. That one. That's the one that I need to get used to. That I'm not used to. You know, I should probably put Skyblock in the title, but I keep forgetting to. Anyway, as you all know, as per usual, dear Lord, thou art in heaven. I pray that you bless this stream so that way many people from far and wide may come, see, and hopefully smile at the content we make here today. Thank you, Lord. In Jesus' name, amen. So, as opposed to last stream, I did a bit of off-camera work, which I don't normally do, but I was invited to play Apex Legends with an old friend of mine, and I decided that I wanted to keep doing this, but I couldn't exactly stream this while doing Apex Legends, so I just kind of decided that I would do this in the background. So if you saw the last stream and saw that there's like a decent chunk of progress made, that's because I just did some stuff every time we were waiting to be loaded in, and that's about it. Nothing really that big or special. This is all just stuff that happened while loading. Is there any more island there? Yeah. We got stuff. Oh, come on. Where did I put this thing? I mean, we don't have a lot. This is only episode 2. We didn't start that long ago. We started today. And I haven't really changed much of anything because I don't want to really get too far ahead. I just want to get a bunch of like the really menial, boring stuff out of the way. Venom is supposed to join us at some point. Keyword at some point. He did not join us for the start. But that's okay. We'll have some stuff ready for him when he gets on finally. I don't like this music. It's playing in the game. So here's what we're gonna do. No. And then we're gonna go over here. He's busy. Well, he hasn't been feeling good, so he's probably just been sleeping, honestly, and I can't really blame him for that. We are gonna play this instead. Come on. There we go. My PC didn't like that, it's lagging. YouTube is buffering. Opera GX wants to crash. Seems to be doing better. Can't tell. You want to explore? Well, you'll have to hold on, because for some reason my PC wants to explode. What's taking up a whole bunch of RAM? That, kill it. Okay. Okay. That's much better. Okay. So, this is what we started with right here. We've got our cobblestone generator and our crucible and stuff. We've got our chests and storage and beds right here. We've got a farm. Speaking of farm, I need to harvest this. And... oh shit, it was way taller than I thought it was. Anyway. We don't need that anymore. Okay. We've got a cobblestone generator right here. This thing makes a lot of cobblestone really, really fast. We've got slab chest right here. It's a slab. We've got our Tinker's Construct stuff. We've got our grass platform right there. Infinite water. We've got furnace and furnace. And that's the entire base. Can we explore? I mean, it's skyblock. There's nothing to explore though. There's like there's a void around us. There's nothing to explore, dog. I hate to break it to you, but it's nothing to explore. That's what Skyblock is you're on a tiny little island, and that's it. There's no exploration in this, and I can't play the normal mode. I cannot play normal all the mods 7. I can't play 6 either. Otherwise, we'd be doing plenty of exploring. We don't know if I can do the normal version of 8. 9's not on this server's mod list. There's Nether. We can probably explore the Nether, but that's way ahead of where we are right now. Yeah, but I've never really liked the Nether, and this is like kind of updated Nether where everything sucks more, so I'm gonna like it less. I just like old Nether, like old school Nether used to be okay. Newer Nether just sucks. I greatly dislike the Nether update. I like the old ones. I also like old school modded Nether. That was pretty okay. But, you know, opinions are opinions are opinions. Maybe I should make a series in old 1.7 Minecraft. I could host a public server and call it Nostalgia Craft or something. Yeah, but you can't just play older versions of Terraria willy-nilly. You can just select an old version of Minecraft with the loader. Can't really do that with Terraria. It's not bad. Need something to drink with this though. I'm gonna switch that to a full stack, and I will be right back, stream. Right back. Returned, and I have prune juice. At the end of the day, fruit juice is fruit juice. Prunes, orange. You gonna guess what juice it is? Bro, I literally said prune juice, and then you guess apple. I said I'm back and I've got prune juice. I feel like you just tuned out the fact that I said anything, but then you heard juice, and that's all your brain tuned into. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. You heard juice, and that was all you needed to hear. What? Oh well. Well, I've got some cheesy yakisoba noodles and prune juice while that wait. See, I hate it when people are like, oh, you have ADHD, you have OCD. You can call being, like, really organized OCD if you really want to. I call it just having a personality. What's wrong with having a personality, dog? Everybody, like, people constantly try to label, like, personality. Like, I call things like ADHD personality, because at the end of the day, it's personality. Because you wouldn't have it if it wasn't part of your personality at the end of the day. So, like, people can call it whatever they want to call it. I call it personality. You know, that mythical word that nobody uses anymore. The last time I heard someone talk about personality has to have at least been 7 or so years ago. It's been a while since I've heard someone talk about personality. Nowadays, everybody just talks about what mental illness they probably have. And I understand. There's things like autism that are a quote-unquote mental condition when it is technically physical, because a mental condition is all in your head. That's what mental is. But some disorders are physical. They're caused by, like, chemical imbalances in the brain. Stuff like that. And that's kind of like what autism is. I'm not a neurosurgeon, and I don't know a lot about neurology. But it seems like pretty basic biology to me that their brain is different, it's built different, and it has some defects. And so it's a disorder. But you don't need to constantly label everything. Like, for example, personality. It's personality. You don't need to call it OCD. You don't need to call it this, that, and the other. ODD, ADHD, this, that, the other. It's just personality. It's all just personality. Think about it. If you dumb it all down, at the end of the day, it's all just personality. It's boiled down to personality. Because it's part of who you are. But who you are is also who you choose to be. And granted, that's easier said than done. You still have the choice of the things you're going to do. The only times that it's out of your control is when you have severe physical medical conditions, and or it has to do with somebody else. Everything else is just personality. And you can have a bad personality. Like those people that like to say, oh, well, I have this disorder or I have that disorder. It's like, you're just using that as an excuse so that way you can be a shitty person. That's all I see it as. People use things like disorders as excuses so that way they can be a shitty person. So most of the time when people say, I have this or I have that, I'm like, uh-huh, good for you. I don't care. And it's the same thing with, like, women constantly going around. Some women constantly go around and talk about how they were raped. And that's not to put down people that legitimately had to go through that. But so many people say it that it's statistically inaccurate. So I don't believe anybody until they have proof of it. That's the problem with people. They lie so easily that you can't believe anybody. And then the people who are genuinely hurt by that, you end up walking on accidentally because all of the assholes want to lie and say that they were hurt that way, even though they weren't. Which is why I don't just trust the first thing people say. I don't just believe anybody for any reason. It's really sad that people lie about that kind of thing, but it still happens. And it would be really cool if people didn't lie about stuff like that. It would be awesome. But at the end of the day, people are going to always lie about whatever they can because people are vile and disgusting. See, to me, it genuinely breaks my heart that there are people that get raped because there's some scumbag out there that thinks he's better than everybody else and decides to take it out on somebody innocent in that way. I think that's absolutely horrid. And yet, the people who lie and say that that happened to them when it didn't, just so that way they can get some pity points from people, are far worse in my opinion. You want pity points. Cool. Nobody cares. Why don't you be a normal person and then maybe people will care about you more? Because I can't stand people who lie about things like that. Can't stand them. I think it is disgusting to lie about something like that. I don't know. Sometimes I just ramble about something that I am passionate about. I think it's important to be passionate about things. Because if you can show other people around you that you're passionate about something, then some people will probably be more willing to stick around you, in my opinion. Because there's a lot of people who aren't particularly, should I say, into anything, or committed to much of anything. And those people aren't exactly the best to hang around, because they kind of are just worried about them and what they can do and what they can get, and not much else about anybody else. What things? Is there any in particular? Their stories? What do you mean stories? Do you have a lot of friends that talk about things like what I brought up? Like rape stories and stuff? Well, see, my thing is A, I don't really call someone my friend until I've known them for years, and I can say I trust them. The very few people that I call friend, I trust with my life. I could trust to leave $10 trillion on a table and trust them not to take $1. And those people I call friends specifically because I know they will not betray me. And if they're gonna get in my way about something, then it's for my own good, most likely. Secondly, I don't just trust anybody so easily. It takes time for me to call someone a friend because a lot of people like to lie about things. Third is that you gotta consider what type of person they are. You know? You gotta think about these people that you hang out with. Did they lie a lot? Did they say a lot of things that are like, yeah, okay, sure, whatever, man? You gotta think about those kinds of things. Because, like, you could consider someone a friend, but if you think about it, like, actually think about it, and realize they lie a lot or tell a lot of tall tales, you'll be like, well, I don't actually really think this person is my friend then. Because they don't value me enough to tell me the truth about things. And I'm not saying just cut a bunch of people immediately out of your life. You can give them chances, sure. But in my case, there's a lot of people that just like to be around me because I am entertaining to be around. Which means that to most people, I am no more than entertainment. And that's all people use me for. I am no better than entertainment, and so people do not ever, like, come around unless they're bored. Like, for example, on VR chat. Whenever I get on VR chat, most people on there that add me because they think I do a cool voice here or there, or because they think I'm funny or something, or they get a little bit of advice from me, and so they think they want to stick around me. But then I never hear from them again 90% of the time. Which just shows me that they didn't actually ever care, and that keeping them added for such a long time was kind of a waste of time. But people just like to use me and keep me around because I'm entertaining, most of the time. Not because they think I am their friend, actually. Not because they think I'm such a great person that they just want to keep me around, because they don't. You also have to consider your time. Time is the one resource that can't be grown, mined, or synthesized. It's the one resource that is permanently finite, meaning there's a very limited amount. And how you spend it and who you spend it with and around is very important. Like, for example, if someone you have on your friends list, you are the one that constantly has to ask them to hang out and they never really ask you, is that person really your friend? Or the people that, like, don't ever really hang around when you want them to, they only invite you, and if you don't show up then they're kind of upset. Those people are also not the best. You have to be careful who you offer your time to, because it is a very valuable resource. You gotta think about those people that you do hang around and think, do they actually value my time? Do they actually care about the time that I offer them, that I give to them? And most of the time the answer is gonna be no. Especially if you didn't ever think about that kind of stuff previously. Which is unfortunate, but that's a big problem in today's society. The fact that nobody really cares to think about that kind of stuff, or think deeply about anything. Because once you start to think deeply, you realize and notice a lot of things. Like the things I was just mentioning. Are these people really my friends? Do they actually value my time? And even when I keep giving them my time, do they actually give a shit about it? And like I said, most of the time, the answer is going to be no. Which is unfortunate, yeah, because there's some people that you're going to really enjoy hanging around. But sometimes you got to weigh it out. Sometimes you got to put, like, your time and the value of it on one side of the scale, and the other side, the desire to be around that person when you have nothing to gain there. Sure, love can be unrequited, and sure, you can love someone unconditionally, because love isn't just romantic. Like my friends, I love my friends, because they are my friends, so I love them. And that means I care about them. But all these other people who don't actually care about me or anything about me, they're not my friends. And so they don't get the same level of respect that my friends do. And that's also why I don't call certain people my best friends or things like that. You're either my friend or you're not. I'll say something like long-time friend, because that would be a true statement. I've been friends with someone a long time. But to say something like, oh, this guy's my best friend, that would be like, all my other friends, they're not as important. This guy, however, he's really important. And that's just kind of rude to all the people that call you friend, and vice versa. That's why I either have friends or I don't. There's a lot of people who I'll call an acquaintance, a good acquaintance, or a decent person, but they're not friends. And while it would be it would honestly be also a pain to have a lot of friends. because your friends are the people you offer your time, and when they need you around, you go. All these people who don't come to your aid aren't really friends either. But now I'm kind of going back in loops again. Anyway, those are things you just gotta weigh out. Is this person really my friend? Do they value my time as much as I value theirs? Etc., etc. And I have to deal with that constantly. Like that one person, Oreo, she removed me, and for those of you who watched around that time, Oreo has since come back and added me back, and she said that she plans on changing. However, she in Oreo, O-R-I-O, someone I've played with on stream before, she said that she planned on changing, and she only invited me to play Baldur's Gate 3 once, and has been playing a lot of games and doing a lot of things since, just on her own or with other friends. And it's not like people can't have other friends or anything around me. People can be friends with who they want and have friends where and how and whatever. But it's when people say, "Oh, I'm gonna change. We're gonna I'm gonna see. We're gonna hang out more, and I'm gonna offer you more of my time." Blah blah blah, and then it just doesn't happen. That my skepticism is awoken. 'Cause, see, whenever I start seeing stuff like that, it's all downhill. 'Cause the second I start to see that kind of stuff is the second that I know, well, I can tell how this is gonna go. And it's that kind of intuition that, like, you learn over time. And once you have that intuition, you will be able to, like, notice things way earlier before they happen. Like, because you'll be like, oh, well, I've seen blank happen before, so I know that this person is probably going to block me soon, or whatever, you know? Things like that. And a lot of people will be like, oh, you can't do that, or, well, that's just bias. Ever since I started doing that, I've never been wrong. Not once. Ever since I started anticipating other people's moves like that, I have not been wrong. Every time I've been like, well, this person's probably going to remove me soon, they blocked me at least within a week. Every time. Trust your gut. And when people tell you that you're an idiot for trusting your gut, they're the idiots because they're probably the part of the problem. Also, another thing are the people that complain about the problem, but then are part of it. For example, there's a website that I used to like to visit, called roleplay.me. Don't go there. If you like to write stories and stuff, you have better luck writing your own short stories. Because, holy shit, everyone there is an ass. You will meet people on there who constantly complain that people are, like, block happy and everything, but 90% of the time, those people are the same exact way. I have experienced this personally, because I think that the block button is the enemy of any relationship. Whether you're trying to be friends with someone, or you're trying to get to know someone romantically, the block button is the enemy. Because that gives people an excuse to be rude. It gives people an excuse to act however they want to act, regardless of the implications. Because on the internet, you can act like whatever you want and do whatever you want with very little repercussion. And that's why I hate the block button. The block button is not as useful as companies make it out to be. And it causes far more division than it will ever create togetherness. Because people abuse it. They abuse it so much. And I wish that wasn't the case. I really do. But that's not going to change. The people that are part of the problem are the people that will say that they, like, for example, oh, I really love to roleplay. Oh, I really love doing story writing and stuff. But then you'll start noticing things, right? You'll notice, oh, well, they don't reply as often, or they don't do this, or they don't do that. And then you're going to realize, oh, I understand now. They didn't ever really care about doing any writing or anything. They care about their own stuff. They don't care about, like, actually forming any kind of, like, rapport or, like, goodwill between you and them. You'll realize that over and over and over and over and over. And every time you realize that, you're going to be hopeful that you were wrong. Unfortunately, most of the time you're not. The truth hurts, yeah. But it is not because the truth hurts that you should not want it. It is because the truth hurts that you should want the truth. See, I define a friend as someone who is willing to offend you to tell you the truth. Someone who is a friend will risk offending the hell out of you to tell you if you're fucking up, to tell you if you are making a mistake. Don't do that, you're being stupid. And when you think about it, most people aren't gonna do that. Most people are just gonna let it slide right on by without a care in the world. And so, when you actually find someone who's a decent friend, don't let them go. There's a lot of people that are like, if you love them, let them go. I hate that phrase. Because if you're willing to let someone go that easily, that just goes to show what kind of person you are. If you can let someone go that easily, then you're not really a friend. You're just a passerby. And that's also not that great. Because if you want to be a real friend for someone, don't be the passerby. Don't be the guy that comes in, says hello, and then disappears. Be the friend. But everybody is so warped up in what a friend is now that they kind of lost touch with it. You don't have good friends? I don't know if you have good friends. I don't know if you have bad friends. I know none of that. Because at the end of the day, I am not your friends. And I'm not you. I don't know your friends like you do. So, very well, they could be really good friends to you. But I don't know that. That's for you to decide whether or not those people are your friends. Because if you come to the conclusion that they're not, well, there's not much anyone can do about that really. Except for you. And then you have to make the tough decision of, do I cut them off? When do I cut them off? Etc. Those are all decisions that you have to make. And granted, in life, there's going to be a lot of those decisions that are really hard. Those decisions are never going to be easy. But people shouldn't do things because they're easy. people should want to do things because they are difficult. Because in life, when you accomplish something that was hard to do in the first place, you are accomplished. You've done something that was difficult to do. You did it in your own way. And even if you learned from someone along the way, you still accomplished something that was challenging. And many people can barely do anything that's easy in this era. We live in such an age of ease, and I guess that's the only word I have on hand in my head right now, but we live in such a world of ease, ease and plenty, you could say, that nobody really tries at anything anymore. Everybody just kind of gives up or doesn't care. Which, in my opinion, is really unfortunate. Already 1,000 cobblestone. Damn. But on the friends thing, that's up to you, man. That's up for you to decide, for you to interpret whether they're good friends. In all honesty, I can't really help you figure that out. Because that's up to you. And if you determine that the people you call friends are indeed your friends, then that's good. And there's going to be plenty of times where you realize that they're not your friends. That they were just around you because they wanted some entertainment. It's gonna happen a lot. And it doesn't get easier the more it happens to you. It's still gonna hurt every time you realize that someone that you thought was your friend just used you. It's never gonna be easy. There's going to be plenty of difficulty. But like I said, you shouldn't want to do things because they're easy. You should want to do them because they're hard. Because in the end, it'll just show how much character you have compared to them. There's plenty of people who take the road less traveled by, or so they think. Most people want to take the easy path, the path of least resistance, no matter how much they say otherwise. Most people like to lie, and so it's really hard to believe people when they say they want to take the difficult path in life. Like, for example, some people say being a Christian is easy. And that's not true. A lot of people would just think that, oh, well, because you're a Christian, you have all these people around you, and you have all this stuff, and you have blah, 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 that your life is easier. It doesn't make it easier just because I have some people that are on my side. Even most of the time, Christians lie about being Christians. There's plenty of Christians out there who are just playing pretend. Because they want to be in good graces of the people around them. Which, yeah, it's no better than just straight up lying. They might as well be lying, honestly. But that's not for me to deal with. And that's not for me to decide. That's for God to decide. Not me. And as long as I live, I'll just try to live my life honestly as I can. Because I don't want to have a bunch of regrets by the time I'm an old man. By the time I'm old, I want to be able to say that I lived a decent life. To be able to say that there were hard times, but in the end everything turned out okay. And not because my life was easy, but because I had the strength to live it. There's plenty of people who pray to God so that way they can have an easier life. I pray to God not so that I can have an easier life, but so that I can have the strength to survive a hard one. Because I don't want an easy life. If I have an easy life, I will not have made any character for myself. I'm not going to be any better than the last guy. I'll just be an average person. And what fun is that? If I'm just another carbon copy of the last person that went through life. I want to be different. I want a challenge. If nothing ever challenges me, then I'll never grow. Now, what's the point of never growing in a life where you constantly have to grow? And in this current world we live in, challenge is something that is very difficult to find because current life is so easy. Life now is very easy, and it's hard to find any decent challenge. Which makes it a bit boring sometimes. But at the end of the day, as long as I did experience challenge and I experience difficulty to some degree, I think I'll be good enough with that. Well, I don't want people to go around and to think, oh, well, I should just not have these people and these people as my friends because one guy on the internet said I shouldn't be friends with so and so and so and so. Decide for yourself if you want to be around those people. Like, are these people really my friends? It's important to recognize what kind of people you surround yourself with. Because, as funny as it may sound, the phrase, you are what you eat, also kind of applies to the people that you hang around. Because you turn into the people you hang out with. If you hang out with a lot of scum, you're gonna end up being kind of like them at some point. So, even if you're not always, like, you don't always have a lot of friends and stuff, that isn't necessarily a bad thing. Because even if you don't always have a lot of friends, having a few friends that you can put all your trust in is way better than having a lot of friends that you never know if you can really trust. As long as you can trust and have faith in the people that you call friend, then I think you'll be alright. Like, I trust Venom because he is my friend. I trust Pyro, and I trust those people. All for the same reason. They're my friends. And I might not always get along with my friends, but they're still my friends. There's going to be plenty of ups and downs that you have with people. Plenty of times where you're just going to want to block them. But at the end of the day, you'll always have the last laugh if you never touch the block button. If you let them turn themselves into the enemy, then go ahead. Don't stoop to their level, and don't be the same kind of person that they want to be, or that they want to act like. If someone wants to be rude for no reason, if someone wants to just be generally not very nice, let them. That's their choice to be that way. And now it's your opportunity to be better. We always have opportunities. But it's those opportunities that allow us to see the mistakes of other people and to do things differently. Because as long as we can do things differently that we've seen other people make mistakes in, then we're gonna fare a bit better than everybody else. If you see 100 people make the same mistake, you know what that mistake is, and you're not going to repeat the same thing so easily. I wouldn't exactly call myself the smartest person, or like a wise guru or anything. I just notice things that a lot of people just tend to not care about anymore. A lot of people don't care about honor or anything like that. And I do care. And I'm one of very few people. Having morals, having things that you will not abandon because of a code you hold yourself to isn't a bad thing. You want to be me? Well, I'm not so sure about that. I would hope that you, viewers, have a job and are more successful than I am. Because I'm just a random dude on the internet that doesn't really have a lot of worth in society. That's who I am. Want to talk like me? Well, it's not exactly hard. You just have to learn how to talk eloquently. But just like all things, it takes time to learn. I didn't just wake up one day and start talking like this. I learned to talk like this through a lot of different heartbreaks and hardships that have brought me to this point. And because I went through those things, I came out stronger at the end. And I was able to learn from those things. Pain is one of the ultimate teachers, and you can learn many things from getting hurt. Which is why you shouldn't ever run away from being hurt, necessarily. A lot of people close themselves off by the heart. I mean, put walls up around their heart. And this does help you to avoid pain, but it doesn't allow you to live. I was making a character once for a story. The character was an arachne, which is a half spider, half human thing. Anyway, I made him kind of to be a sad character. And in his character sheet, I gave him a quote. I don't remember specifically what it was. It sounds better when it's the actual quote. The quote is, "I think it'd be better to not be born than to not be able to be sad. Tears means your heart is still a heart." As much as getting hurt and being sad may suck, it is an important part to being alive and learning. Pain teaches you, and it guides you. As long as you don't let it be your compass, you can still learn from it. And that doesn't mean you have to enjoy being sad. It's the same way as you don't have to like your math teacher to learn math from them. Pain is the other side of the coin to happiness and joy. Without knowing sadness, you will never know what joy really is. Because if you're always happy and you have no pain, then you'll never really know the difference. And the same is true for the other side. I'm not saying you should always be sad or angry or constantly happy. I would say be in the middle. It is better to have people who are realists around, because there's a lot of people who are just not realistic. I would like to consider myself a realist. I like things to be logical, but I'm not exactly all logical all the time. And there's a lot of people who would say, well, this is logical, that's logical, but it's pretty simple what is and is not. Like, for example, in a situation where you have more to gain by letting someone get hurt, some would say it's logical to not help them so that way you get more gain. But that's not logical. That's selfish. The logical thing to do is to help those who need you to help them. Because there will come a day when you need to be helped. And if you make it an effort to help the people who encompass you, then they will all come to your aid when you need it. And there may be many that you help that never help you in return. But at the end of the day, at least you will know that you did the right thing, regardless of if you ever get anything in return. And you should never do things so that way you can go and brag to people about, yeah, I helped this one guy. Do it because it was right. Not because people are going to praise you for it. Doing the right thing doesn't mean you have to be liked. Doing the right thing means that you're willing to be hated to do what is good and right. There's many people who dislike me, hate me even, because I am not afraid to stand for what is right. And because of that, I'm more lonely than I'd like to admit. But it is also because of that that I can see all the truths of things like this. I'm not omniscient in that regard. There's plenty of things that I still have yet to learn. Because in reality, I'm still young. But I would like to think that I know more than the average Joe in that regard. At the end of the day, don't cut yourself off from being hurt. Don't be an idiot, granted. But you shouldn't run away from being hurt. Because getting hurt and failing is what allows you to grow. Think about it this way. Every time you fail, that failure itself is another stepping stone in your journey of life. Another thing you've learned. Another milestone you've reached. Not all milestones are good, but they do teach you. To make mistakes is to live and to learn. Learning from your mistakes is what makes us different from animals. Because when you make a mistake, you can change by doing something else. And sometimes it takes a lot of effort to change, to be different, to be unique, to truly change. Catharsis. Catharsis is another word for change. To truly change is difficult. And there's not really many people who care to change and be better anymore. And people who can't change, who see you able to change, will be jealous of you. And many of them just may end up hating you. But again, would you rather be liked by many, or do what is right and be known by the few? Life, many things in life, you could weigh on a pendulum and gauge which is more worth doing. There's a quote that I found not that long ago that said, "I would rather be judged by the world and known by God than to be judged by God and known by the world." That is to say, I would rather be forgotten or hated by the world and loved by God than to be loved by the world and forsake my soul to eternal damnation. The world is a very large and corrupt place, and there is a lot of wickedness in the world, a lot of hate and disdain. And being different from everyone else in the regard of you're not going to fall into that same trap that they did means that there's going to be many people who dislike you because you're not like them. You're different. You're unique. And being different than the crowd means you'll often be disliked or even hated. But at least when you're like me, there's so many people that hate you anyway. Doing the right thing and ending up being hated anyway doesn't seem so bad. That's a lot. That is a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot of power. RF tools. Mechanism. Integrate dynamics. Industrial forging. Integrate dynamics. Mechanism. Bigger reactors. Logs. Block of redstone. Shovelstone. Osmium ingot, huh? Copper ingots. Alright, well stream, I'm tired, so that's gonna do it for tonight. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you all next time. Don't forget,